Exactly.
It sounds ridiculous, but as a tool, as a mental tool, using it as an operating system, that you're going to operate your mind under the confines of this Christianity 5.0 system.
The biggest problem we have in some ways, and the worst thing an artist can do for themselves is to say, all my genius comes right out of me. It takes a lot of pressure off you as a creative person or a person in general to say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm going to let something else guide me. I'm going to let something else. So if you're an artist, you say, I'm like Flannery O'Connor, that wonderful thing. She goes, I don't sit at my typewriter to write at all. I just sit at my typewriter and I sit there in case something happens. And if something starts working its way through me, I'll start typing.
Right,
and
but
it takes all the pressure off you.
Cynical people will look at like Pressfield's book, like the War of Art, and they'll go, well, this is poppycock. This is nonsense.
That's fine. They can do that.
But it's effective.
It is effective.
That's what people don't understand. It may be incorrect. It may be all within the confines of your mind. But if you operate on the principle that you are enacting the muse, that you are contacting the muse, then it really does work.
Can a cynic explain to me why when I hear a piece of music I start crying because it's so beautiful? Can you explain mathematically how that goes? I'm not interested. All I know is I start crying because it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that cannot be explained.
And you know what it does?
Logically.
It inspires me.
Yeah.
I hear like a beautiful piece of music. You know why I got into stand-up? I remember when I got into stand-up after I heard your album and that Voodoo Punani song and all that stuff. And I went home that day. See, you don't know this. I never told you this. I'm glad I'm talking about this because I listened to your album and I had to leave early. I got out of there, and you couldn't understand. You got mad at me. You called me up and you go, you just left without saying bye? You just took off? You know why I took off? I couldn't handle being around you because I was so not only inspired, but I went, my friend's doing something really special here, and I know I have something in me, and I'm not living up to it. And being around him is reminding me of the fact that I'm not living my fucking life. And I remember you called me and you were mad, and I made up some excuse I started telling you like some excuse, and then I went, dude, I got to be honest with you. You fucked me up a little bit. I said that song and that your jokes were so awe-inspiring to me. And I went home and I started writing. And so that's what happened to me. That was a huge catalyst for me. I went home and started writing because after I heard that song and after I heard those fucking jokes you would come to, those goddamn this was I don't know how many years ago.
99.
They were so fucking well formed. You were such a tidal wave. It was like an example for the first time where I saw an artist just come together and just put out the power you were putting out was so retarded that it was changing the whole fucking room. People were like, what the fuck? This guy's writing songs, he's doing. And I remember going, I got to taste some of that. I got to have some of that. I got to get the fuck out of here.
I get that still.
That's what you need, man.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that in your life, you got to find it.
Yep.
Either surround yourself with friends who do it. Go to TED.com. Yeah. Do whatever you have to do, man. Find it.
Yep.
It's out there. And the beautiful thing about the technology, and this is for the young people, is that you can spend your time listening to music and reading about what Lady Gaga wore to the gym, or you can fucking open your mind to a whole world out there that is going to bite you in the ass if you're not ready for it anyway. So start opening in your mind and start reading.
And it's important to not give in to jealousy. When you see someone doing something that you're not doing and you feel like, fuck, I'm not doing. There's an instinct to protect yourself by bullshitting yourself and becoming jealous and bitter and talking shit about that person. And that's where haters come from. What haters are, 100% of all haters in the world are unrealized potential. It's 100%.
Exactly.
I'm not a hater. I'm a pretty nice easygoing guy. It's because I'm successful. But when like Michael Jordan's not a hater, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, like when you get to a guy at that level, they're not haters. The real haters are
There's no time to hate.
They see someone doing well and it bothers them. To a person like a Michael Jordan or a winner, they see someone doing well and it inspires them to take it up another notch.
I've always tried to look at things like that. When you see something great, and if it's a friend of yours or something, you have to use it as inspiration. It's supposed to inspire you. And haters and that notion is what that is it's a skewed perspective. I think what happens is a lot of times they say, well, you know what, there is scarcity in the world, so there's only a certain size of the pie. And if you're doing this, you've taken up all the pie and there's no room for me. Not true, man.
Not at all.
There is no scarcity.
It's a terrible way of thinking,
if you open yourself up to something beautiful and great and let that work through you and really be affected, be astonished by it, be scared by it, be brought to your knees by it, whatever it takes, you will find way more strength in that surrender to the beautiful than you will when you close yourself off. And all of us, man, all of us had this notion to go, I'm closing myself off. Fuck this.
Everybody wants to win the lottery, but the lottery will fucking ruin you. You have to earn the whole thing. In order to be a real man or a real woman, you have to earn the whole thing. And the crazy thing is, to be the man, to get to that point, to be the man, you literally have to not ever be possibly the man, because you have to get to this Zen state where there is no the man. No. It's all about the work. It's all about what genius you're putting out is all about, whether it's music or whether it's writing or whatever the fuck it is. It's all about finding that real pure place. So there is never the man. That's when the muse kicks in. The idea of this all comes from somewhere else. It's like, maybe it is just an attitude that allows you to bypass the ego. Maybe that's what the muse is. It's just a scientific or a method of thinking that allows you to bypass the ego. But it's effective, whatever it is.
It's very effective, and I think also...
So you're never the man. You never feel like the man, right?
Well, you're bringing me to like the notion of celebrity, for example. That's a really good point, because celebrity actually doesn't exist. You've had celebrity for a long time, but like just with me now, things are starting to, I go to places and people recognize you and they want to take pictures or whatever, and you think to yourself, well, I'm doing this TV show and I'm doing, and I guess in some ways I'm making lots of money and I've kind of arrived a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm a working actor, and there is zero difference actually in what it takes for me to keep myself inspired. And if anything, that's nice. It's a nice thing, but it certainly plays no real part in my overall fulfillment, which is really interesting, And you know this really well. I mean, I've been with you in Vegas. I remember at the height of Fear Factor when, you had to literally go to the corner and rub your eyes because everybody wanted a picture. Everybody wanted to touch you. Everybody wanted to be around you. That becomes, I guess, in a lot of ways, the exact opposite of what you're going for. It's a privilege. It's nice, but it's actually a distraction.
Yes.
It's actually not. It actually doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in a lot of ways. It does. I just mean it doesn't.
It's something you have to deal with. It exists, but it is weird.
What I mean is that what you think celebrity is going to be, and then what it actually ends up being.
Two totally different things.
Yeah, that's all.
And there is a dance that you have to do in order to not get sucked into the wave, not get sucked into the gravity of the situation. Don't believe it or buy into it.
Yeah.
And some people never do.
No.
Bryan, you've inspired people. This is a good podcast.
And
I've talked to so many people, and I talked to a lot of them this weekend. We did the Irvine Improv, and it was a lot of fun. And we talked to a lot of people that are podcast fans. And the number one thing that keeps coming up is these people say that, first of all, a lot of people listen to it at work. They listen to it when they're doing stupid shit that they don't like doing, and they just love the fact that there's something like this out there. And two, they say it gives them an opportunity to look at things completely different, and it's shaping the way people think, man. There's a difference between what we're doing here than the sort of the average radio show and the average podcast is we're not afraid to talk about weird, deep shit and go. And because of that, it's allowing other people to consider possibilities and ways of thinking that I don't think they would have.
Well, it's a privilege. And I know
it's a privilege for me too, man. It's all...
It's great to be on the podcast. It's and I have people come up to me all the time now. It's amazing how many people are listening to this thing.
It's crazy.
By the way, I'll be at the San Francisco Punchline. Have you done that?
Punchline's great.
I'll be there August 10th to the 13th.
That's my birthday, the 11th.
It is?
Yeah, I'm going to call you.
I've never done that club, but I can't wait to go to San Francisco.
It's amazing. It's a great club. It's one of the best clubs. It's perfect height. It's one of those places. It's got the low ceilings.
I love that.
It's tight. I think it seats probably 250, 300.
Wow.
It's perfect.
I can't wait.
Yeah, a dude, I was just in San Francisco recently. A guy gave me Bill Hicks' last live performance at the Punchline. The last time he was there, he gave it to me on DVD.
That's what's so amazing about being a comic is you're performing with such history in rooms like that.
Oh yeah, one of those, the Punchline. That's one of those. I'm doing the Ice House, not this weekend coming up, but next weekend, which is the 22nd and 23rd. The Ice House in Pasadena, and that's a small place. It's going to sell out quick. But that place is the same place it's been for like 30 plus years, man. And there's photos on the wall of people from the old days.
I think it's one of the oldest comedy clubs in the country.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
I got to start doing the Ice House.
Come on down. You want to do this weekend? You want to do it next weekend? Come down to do a guest set.
I'll definitely do
22nd and 23rd.